We're talking to the professor himself, Mmusinyane from Geo. Straight from TAUNG. Now, if you don't know how to spell, hey, slow ones. But anyway, take out your pens and papers. We are talking to the professor himself. Now, let me officiate. Before the whole World Cup, the whole board, for taking time out of your hectic schedule. I saw part of your schedule outside. Very, very hectic on my head. It is happening and I'm grateful. Thank you very much for being here. Tumi music Uniso. Tumi Boitumelo rural guy Mmusinyane. And thank you very much for being part of the conversation.
Not here level. Having this opportunity, I know for it in some months, and we're looking forward to it, but it is eventually setting in the best.
Yeah, very, well, the time is right.
Yeah.
I will make your way.
Everything happens at that.
Oof. On those sentiments. You have done, okay, let me put it in this way. Before we get into the business of the day, you have done outrageous things. I want to get it out of the way. Outrageous things in my book is, without even being offended or you've climbed on trees, you've had trees, you have eaten some of the most weirdest food, very, very healthy, by the way. Some of them riditile. You have gone to places. I don't know if you are alone because maybe camera in a I don't know because we need look, I cannot just be saying things. The camera is there,
yeah,
and it's the angle is very nice. It has to be held by a person or either by.
So you think?
According to my calculations,
yeah,
it has to either be held by a person,
yeah,
or by a stand or by a stone.
Okay.
Because it's in the bush.
Yeah.
And you have danced. I think I'm quoting only a few of the things that I've seen you do.
Yeah.
We understand that you are a professor by profession. Mm-hmm. You are outspoken in a lot of things. Why?
I've been through a lot.
Okay.
I have seen it all. And eventually end up coming back to myself.
Wait. Let's slow down a little bit. Me and you are going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You have seen a lot.
Yeah.
Normally when people say they have seen a lot, they mean they've been through accidents, they've seen
you name them.
They've been to ICU, etc., etc.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I haven't been to ICU, but I've been to quite numerous accidents. Yes, it's quite interesting stories about.
I cannot wait to hear it.
Yeah. When I said I've seen it all, it means that almost everything that you can think of, what you call challenges or struggles, I think I've been all from staying in a 2-room house.
Yes.
With my brother and my mom and our younger sister, to eating from cooking Vaseline to university.
No.
So I want to ask, when I say I've seen it all, just to mention in general to say, Jolo-wise, I've been dealt quite a lot. So almost everything I can say. So all of those things now, today, I use them as testimony.
Wow.
as to what you see today, I've been defined by all of those things that actually took place in my life.
So everything that we see you doing in regards to living outside the comfort zone,
Yeah,
it's part of the reason.
it's part of the lessons.
Part of the lessons.
Yeah,
It must have been some lessons.
a very huge one. Yeah, I'll be guided by you where to start, but yeah, indeed.
So now it answers those questions, because when somebody has seen God himself,
Yeah.
You tend to have a view of life, like sort of like a 3D 60 or 360 view, a 3D effect of life. At this moment,
Yeah.
your 3D, you are in a 360 view now. You are looking at it from that.
Exactly.
How is it for people around you, those who are still who have been there, who have seen you go through those things? How is it now for them? Because
Yeah, like she mentioned, something says that I'm mad.
yes.
Yeah, so I enjoy my madness. Like
Okay.
today, you wake up every day, I'm sure you wished someone a happy Father's Day. You also received happy Father's Day messages, and I don't believe in that. So we have what you call, we do certain things on the basis that everyone is doing it, but without knowledge. The history of Father's Day is quite really a painful one that I don't want really to move into it. But we are defined, remember that as people, we are defined by standards,
That's true.
by perceptions, by views. So this Father's Day comes from a calendar.
Yes.
Do you know how many calendars we have?
Okay. A little research that I've done tells me that the calendar that we are using is from the Romans.
Exactly.
They designed it so that we can follow them.
Yeah, it's called Gregorian calendar.
Yes.
Because it's based on Pope Gregory, who decreed that this is the calendar that we must use. Remember that there is a relationship between religion and politics.
Yes.
But we have not really come here for that. But all I'm telling you is...
No, we have. This is the school is insertion.
Exactly. all I'm telling you is we are using a calendar that is not ours, but was given to us. For example, your identity, your image, your way of life.
Date of birth.
It's not really something that, it's something that you've been given to. You've been given an identity. But because of this calendar, for example, it says you are born, I'm born on the 2nd of June.
Yes.
And according to the stars, zodiac signs, I fall under the Gemini horoscope. But you have not really, when I yourself went deeper to determine as to where does this thing comes from. It relates to the same calendar that was given by the Rome to the entire world. And now we've got two hemispheres, north and south. These hemispheres, they don't mix. If it's daylight here, it's night that side. For example, right now, we are welcoming winter. Under the African calendar, we call it is a winter solstice, where we formally welcome winter to the southern hemisphere. They are celebrating a summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, because that's where they welcome, that's where the sun is now. We're talking about the sun, the return of the sun. Because September, we'll be celebrating the new year, the rebirth of the sun coming to the southern hemisphere. They'll be celebrating their winter. So if you look at all of these things, you start to wonder that if they said I'm a Gemini, who wrote this thing? When you go and read the Gemini sign, it will tell you that you are in a scorching heat during this particular time. But we are in winter. Meaning that I'm taking someone's idea and making it mine. I'm taking someone's description of me and making it mine. So when actually you need to look at the opposite, because we are opposite signs, north and south is opposite. So I'm actually Sagittarius. If I go and read Sagittarius, it resonates more with me than the Gemini descriptions itself. So that's why when we move into our African calendar, then we start to realize that we actually follow the sun. We follow the moon. The moon has a calendar. We follow the stars. And these are all the things that actually do. So now when someone says Happy Father's Day, but they offer them knowing exactly where does this calendar come from, where does this Father's Day originate from, we are just using it because everyone is using it. That's not right. But because now I go this way, people are going this way, this thing, they look at me and says that when I'm about I love chaos. I get it, guys. In chaos, that's where you find direction. In chaos, that's where you begin to gain yourself and understand who you are and then where you're going. I'm not saying you must not celebrate it. I'm only saying, look, for now, it took us for a very long time to realize that we know at 12 o'clock, Mohammed, Utala shop.
Yes,
Because you've seen it repeatedly happening. You don't even question him. You actually know that at 12 work at 2. But as Africans now in this instance, people still wish me happy Father's Day, wish me happy Christmas, happy New Year and all of those things, despite them knowing that actually I don't subscribe to that. So I call that ignorance and also superiority complex to say that everyone believes in this thing. So I'm not going to change, but I'm well aware of your days. I would rather not say anything but let you enjoy your days without necessarily. But the minute you come to me and says Happy Father's Day, when I tell you that I don't believe in that, I'm complicated, I'm difficult, I'm chaotic, this is the way that really that if you are someone else, I would have just given up and said, let me just join them. Happy Father's Day.
Because you cannot beat that. So now, it's really, really, I think it's funny that you had to touch on that. There's just a lot of things that we've stopped celebrating as Africans. I'm just saying Africans. There's a lot of things that our mothers would say, I remember we had a discussion not so long ago with somebody who has the same thoughts as you in regards. We were talking about birthdays.
Yeah.
The origin of birthdays. Because I remember when we were, as Africans, as I was reading and doing a little bit of research, is that we've never really celebrated birthdays. The Onotsalwa Ojalelwa Satlari and continuously like that and like that and like that up until, and sometimes now most of our parents older, we just sort of multiply and times and subtract and say you are 192. But they never cared for that. They've never paid attention to Matsatia Matsalo. Can you please just highlight it for us? Where is this origin coming from, so that when we celebrate Dilo, we are conscious about them?
Look, for example, our knowledge is embedded in us.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about some things, and when I talk about them, your memory is going to trigger or to kickstart to say, I remember.
Yes.
We have been brainwashed to think that if something's not written down, it doesn't exist or it's not real.
Oh, yes. Because I remember we used to discuss, and then somebody would say the difference with us Africans is that we didn't write it down.
No, but it's not even like we forgot. Yes. There's no knowledge that is lost in us as the black people, despite not knowing the paper. Ne? Yes. For example, the moon calendar.
Yes.
You know the moon calendar.
Yes.
It starts to rise from Bukirim.
Yes.
And then it goes
over.
The minute it reaches that side, it becomes full moon. So it means every day you start counting from that. We know it very well that once it's here, it means it's the 4th day or the 5th day. Once it's here, it's half of the calculations. It's yes. And then hoyakwa. That was our counting. So it is not to say that our birthdays, we did not know how old you are, but we just use different ways in terms of determining our calculations and method. We will still know how old you are without necessarily saying that we have to calculate, but we will still be able to determine that because we use the nature as our calendar, as our living organism, as our living system. We know where the sun comes from. We know our time. We don't have quarter past. We don't have 18 past. Ke maitsibua, ke letlatlana, ke bomoshong, ke khwaga masigo, masigo gare, and all of those things. That's how we've really defined time. We defined our ways of life, our, determining calculations of days. We know it very well that most of the time, basadi, hangwedi aya go tlala, aba full. That's when most of them buy a kungwedi.
Yes.
It means they are on their menstrual cycle.
Yes.
Or they are finishing their menstrual cycle without calculations. But we will know it very well once it reaches that time. That's calculation. You see that when we now start to think of African way of calculating and Western way of calculating, it's two different things. Even the time as well. My grandfather so we've been made to believe that these things, they are primitive, backwards. No, move out of the time. You must get the watch. You must, do these things. If it says half past, it's half past. But we've not really lived like that. So the settlers, when they came in, this is what they did. Most people really think about the land. They think about the assets, or these are the people that they've really dispossessed us. The greatest thing that they did was to take us away from ourselves.
Oh.
When we say ourselves, a lot of people, when to talk about spirituality, they think it's a certain form of religion. And they know it's not, or belief system. Spirituality is just a way of life. How you live life, how you connected to things. For example, you'll be able to interpret because it's communicating.
Yes.
If a bird comes here, start knocking here, that's communication. We were able to understand, to know it very well that, for example, ngwana ha atsamaya maybe abatsenya tlhogo ha ngwana wa
Yes. Yes.
You see?
Yes.
These are the things that we live with.
But clarify it. What is that sign? I want you to say that sign. Yes. Because Khotola is broad. Because we believe in it different.
For example, ngwana ha bele khangwana.
Yes.
Ba re no tshore prepare hore. Yes. Those are the kind of things that we actually, when we know. For example, how it's with the kika.
Yes.
Yeah, the kika. I didn't know this, by the way, until recently. So I bought one ko Botswana in a le so thing. Now ke I bona go pele kwa gae bogale.
Okay.
So ke a dula ke tsa thipa ntse ke dira.
Why said?
I said.
Yes.
Mosadi mogolo comes a re motho modimo. O ska dira la solo se ha ka gore no banyala ba ka heta hanwa ba go tsala bana ba di albino.
No.
I'm telling you.
Because Philo said the giga.
Do that thing in
Yes. In that's way we work. Yes.
So you are not supposed to do that actually mo pele ga ba mo thoko ga bana.
Okay.
Because in a certain premonitions is that thing or no, this is another way in which you can end up having. It's not like it's the only way.
Yes.
This is another way in which you can end up having bana ba ntsenyana. This is knowledge that is, remember, it's there.
Yes.
Yeah, everything comes out at a time where it's needed. So makwa habatsena, because that's what actually they did, because they know it very well. For example, Mushwesh of Lesotho.
Yes.
There is a prophet called Mantsopa.
Yes.
You must go and read Mantsopa. I think he defeated British, I think twice, if not 3 times. Because every time before the war starts, the king will consult the prophet. And the prophet will be able to indicate to you, but what attack? And they will attack and we need to do 1, 2, 3 words and they did exactly that. That's the same thing that happens like Credo Mudo.
Yes.
He fell off because my Credo Mutwa predicted I see blood, I see Mustilo.
And he did not believe it. Yes.
So they end up really checking all of those things. So spirituality, for example, all of us are Laura. Your conscience is your guide.
Yes.
But because of so many things that we have done, that conscience is no longer talking to you, is no longer warning you, is no longer communicating.
Okay, so many things that you've done in regards to evil things that you've
yeah.
Olobolaid.
And we are a dual existence. There's light, there's darkness. Call everything female, male. I want good, bad, right, wrong. So we possess all of this duality as human beings, all of us. If you want to be a bad person, we're not blessed, you can be. If you want to be a good person, you can't be. It depends which side are you aligning to, the darkness side or the light side. Or you are able to balance the two. That's how we are. So we've actually been taken away from ourselves.
But what was it all a plan, Prof, to eliminate our strong points? Because when somebody wants to defeat you, they take away
your stronghold or your strong points. Okay, for example, Mosadi Mogolo, o khona go sheba ha iwane fela yana ba re wena you are pregnant.
Those ones are good, yo.
That was a diagnosis.
Yo, but I don't have a big password.
Where does that come from?
Yes.
Because you are not even aware yourself. I was so starting to vomit and all of that, but the old lady has already determined when you are pregnant. Because we have been in tune with ourselves. They'll be able to say that we did not have to need telephone calls like we have to look for me, inbox me and all of that. Telepathic communications, connections that we will get the message if you are meant to get the message without any of those wiring or any of those connections. That's how we're able to communicate amongst ourselves. Without not necessarily because of, for example, right now, there is someone in your close circle that you must have dreamt something about over phone. All of us.
That's true.
There is someone that you have not. Is that not really a way of connecting with others?
No, it is.
Now, as in tune as we were during that particular time, they've realized is that this person the future and even the current and even the past and bring all of those into one setting. So we need to dismantle this. And they've done it systematically in so many ways. You go to Congo, you go Robert Moffat, Mobatwaneng, Dingaka, actually Mobatwaneng, they rejected the history as to how they were taken away
because
from
they've
already foresaw. They allow
what
them.
Is this
Remember, this is what they do. Violence does not work. There is another one. I forgot his name. Who came to say that they are going to build schools to educate Banabalon. Ne? While educating on Sundays, we will use the same building as a church. Ne? Now, the minute that now they have gained confidence, that's when that guy then decided to is not bread. Even they call it like that. They call it molao. Because now I said guys, whatever that I'm saying, I'm not forming these things out of, I have proof. So that's why I tell people that when you talk to me or when you engage with me, don't be emotional. Because I'm going to bring you all the evidence and put it in front of you. And that's how I want us to talk.
Yes.
So they see that maybe as a way of being critical and all of that. But all I want to see is, guys, this whole knowledge is in front of us. I'm not saying, you are saying, your religion is fine. I respect it. But where there is the truth and I bring it, don't say I'm attacking it, because I'm telling you how it was used in our communities to really dismantle our way of life so that then we'll be able to. For example,
that's true.
But in in spirituality, we know that we cannot do that. Because spirituality says that in simple terms, you must be true to yourself. You must be honest with yourself. Even if no one is watching you, if you know something is wrong, you don't do it. That's integrity. That's the way of life. Because once you do that, you are able to impact on even someone next to you without saying a word. People change, not because you are telling them, but change because of the frequency that you are also. You may sometimes tell someone, something that is very serious. But because you are not in alignment with yourself, you are not good with yourself, they are not going to heed that message. But you are saying the right things. So this is also one of the things that really goes. For example, we did not buy food. We did not use currency. We use currency as a different way, but we did not really buy what you are eating today.
Yeah, no, that's true. That one is clear.
That one is clear. And right now, if you look at a healthy living lifestyle, they are taking you back to sorghum, taking you back to millet,
Yes.
taking you back to all of those things because they know Madinawa and all of those things. Because they know it's not easy to patent those beans. Adverts. You will never see them advertising a cabbage.
No, never.
You will never see them advertising natural waters, spring water, and all of those things. They will tell you that this water is purified and all of that, but this water does not need to be purified. As it is, it becomes purified itself. So they had to realize that use a systematic way, in terms of so many things to ensure that you remove these people away from themselves. That's why then they decided to say that we need to establish mines and we must go and get these people to come and work in our mines. We are breaking the family structure. For example, Motaung, like where I grew up, we know each other. And even Africa as a whole, if you go to a village and you get lost, you don't need GPS.
No, you don't.
You just ask, well, I have a price guy.
Yes.
They will show you. Even when it's the other side, they will show you.
Yeah.
But today, because now we think, I know GPS is the best way of doing things and all of that. But we as the African people had a different way of living before the colonizers really came in. So they had to dismantle all of these things in so many ways for us so that we can be dependent on them. Beg them for everything that we do.
Hey, because now, with all honesty, if maybe we're not shying away from the truth, our tribal houses are no longer as efficient as they used to be, because we remember that once o tswile o dirile o robetsele mosadi wa motho o dirile molato o right ro noisiwa kae. But now, is it that part of the reason, or is it part of the reason why we are not as maybe tribal houses efficient these days?
I was called by the Human Rights Commission to do a talk about the human rights. You see, that's why when you begin to question everything, that's the time when you start to find and look for yourself and determine a lot of things. Now, I knew that because I make my research. I'm going to bua le magosi.
Yes.
So it means that now I must restrict my talk only to that. And because I'm a traditionalist, and I do research, well, I've managed to mix my, research interest with the way of life. Now, I realize that the customary law that we use today is not the true customary law of the people. Ne? Also, the people that are leading these communities have lost the ancestral ways of really governing and ruling. Because we know how our great-grandfathers were ruled by the Khosi, and the system was so much intact that there was no crime. There was no need to build prisons. And we know it very well, like you've mentioned now, that when there is someone who do makaka, then Baba is a Khosi to resolve that. Though Constitution today are corporal punishment, it's not. But in so much as adopting the universal, we call it universal laws, Constitution is universal because it says it's applicable everywhere. But in so much as adopting these laws, we were not really honest with ourselves in terms of integrating our indigenous knowledge systems. This laws came in to say that I am the highest law and I remain as such. But when you go and investigate this history of these universal laws, the people that actually created these universal laws are actually the colonizers themselves.
Yeah.
The political system that we use, it's the colonizers' political systems. And in taking all of those things as they are, we dismantled our way of life and really see it really reduce those are just nothing. We need to go above the times. That's where we have lost, our way of life. So these cause the ones that we have today, and I told them as well that you are not ruling according to the true nature of your lineage. Because, for example, now, the time where there was no rain, And all these histories common across African people. We will know that we will call it the rainmaker, Ngaka Moroka,
Oh, yes.
to come and do rituals for the rain, and it will rain. That was the time where the whole community was aligned. Remember, we talk about alignment. That was the time when it was alignment. We had a time where honale famine, then we know it very well that, you know, how limili, before you must there, so that the chief is the custodian of the entire community. And then we start to do that. That's how closeness and connected we are. So the minute that democracy came in, right now the most important person in a village is a ward councillor.
Oh.
The saddest part, and I told them as well, you need to challenge this thing. The problem is you guys were not aligned with the way this governance system was running as a cause. Secondly, you complain no this mola consider but the cause by a member ya council but they don't vote.
Okay, ex officio. They're just there.
How does that really system work when actually the leader of that community? But in this traditional system, that's what I told them, that look, if you look at the apartheid system, the colonial system, it has a constitution which recognizes only 3 branches of government: national, provincial, local. Ne? Now, during the CODESA constitution negotiations, we had now the traditional leaders and traditional healers were excluded from the CODESA. Someone, when I mentioned this, became emotional and said that actually they were included.
Okay.
But there is a document that confirms that they wrote a letter to say that we need to be included. They were not. They were isolated. So now remember that this is how the apartheid government was ruling. The 1996 constitution took that structure as it is and make it the democratic system. Still, remember that before the colonizers, the traditional governance system, it was taken away by the colonizers. So after taking it away, they imposed their own system, which today the constitution is rubber stamped as the only way in which you can have a formal structure of government. Traditional leadership is not there. That's where our problem are. And because Lebone, the Baja, when the politicians comes, gives them money, gives them all, they keep quiet and not fight. If they can do that, I'm happy about the KZN. Mrs. Zulu did fought about that we need to have an active participation in governing our local affairs. We cannot allow the municipality to be the one that has more power than us. That's the only one that I've heard. Others are afraid, they're just keeping quiet.
Yeah, the question is, are they really afraid? Or there's a line that I'm sure you know very well that says, the one who feeds you controls you. So do we then say our tribal houses have been compromised by, because I remember back in the days, you were raised in that village up until a certain age where then you become a king or you become the ruling leader. And now we've got schools, we've got universities that they, and then they come back to take the throne. You've said it very nicely. Our constitution basically is a cut and paste. And then obviously now it means we are being taught the adopted system. Is there ever going to be a break in between that? What needs to be done for us to shake that? Because I had a conversation with the former principal of Batlaping High School, and then she Maltebe. Yes, and then she said something very, very profound, and it took me by surprise because I didn't know this, and I felt very bad because I used to attend Kumanguruan, which is also and I didn't know that this is actually part of the kinship of Batlaping. She said this schools used to train the horse. Yes.
The greatest disservice that was done to us was to educate us in the Western education. There was a time in my life I felt, look, I have a degree in law, a master's in law, a doctorate in law, and various certificates,
Yes.
diplomas, and all of those. Ne? After obtaining all of these things, I still realize that I don't know anything about our people, our things, and even the way we represent Nkateng. Now, it means that they took me to school to educate me, but to uneducate me about my only ways of life. For example, simple things. You see, my brother, indoctrinations, it happens in a simplistic way. If you look at the TV every day, you see one thing. Your brain, your image, sensory, they start to realize that as the actual thing that exists that you subscribed to.
Yes.
Because it's being brought to you in front of you quite a number of times. So unfortunately, all of us as Africans, by being taken to education, we've actually been taken to not to learn. The only thing that we fail to learn is our ways. And I used to have this issue with, for example, there's one lady who's a social worker and she's a born again. And I tell her, as a practical scenario, you have to consult a lady. I can't. I relapsed. I was taking my medication and then I relapsed, anxiety, depression, or whatever. I relapsed because actually, as a sangoma, a prophet, or as a traditional healer.
Yes.
Now, I ask you, how do you deal with that case? Because it's not written down, it's not in your books and all of that. I don't know, I only subscribe to the code of conduct, social work, where it says that I must treat the patients and all of that. But she's giving you something that is not that you've been taught. And you can resonate learn it because you hormones and you understand. The problem of many of us, my brother, is that if I believe in something, I make it applicable to everyone around me.
Everyone must believe in it.
Everyone must believe in it. If I exist, everyone must believe I exist. And that's not really how we need to be. Remember that you are in a position. For example, I'm in law and I serve a lot of people from born agains, all other belief systems. And I'm familiar with that. And they can tell you as well to say that Prof accommodates all of us. I don't undermine this one because of their own. No, I don't. But I ask right and relevant questions. So what happens in this instance now is that we've been taught knowledge that is not resonate with us. And we are afraid or we don't know where to start to actually start to integrate our ways of life into this modern system. I can start with law, for example. In law, at the university right now, I'm sure, I don't know if I have not posted it, but I started to present. I did a paper called Limpopo years back, and my colleagues, academics, researchers, they laughed at me. How to use divination. Divination is in proper
Yes, yes.
Yeah, to investigate ritual killings and missing persons. Do you know how many people went missing and how many people are killed because of the rituals? And all of those things, the private parts. Those cases are never been. I'm telling you, it's an ocean. It's a drop in the ocean. The arrest and the prosecutions of those cases. Why? Because they use the Western method of investigations. You come report you take a photo, you post it there, and then you fall. There's nothing that you're going to find. In that paper as well, I made a typical example about there's a lady called Rustenbeck. Uchek. This lady, he used to be a previous tenant. Good this one, but how about what the previous landlord is in danger. She immediately got up into her car, drove there. I can guy. Only to find that back room. There is a guy there. No, you will watch. That guy was caught red-handed raping that child.
Oh.
That lady became a witness. Ne? A witness in the sense that literally in terms of Western law, you saw something happening.
But and she didn't. She sort of envisioned it.
Remember that now, yes. So that's what the law always is.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That guy was found guilty and sentenced to imprisonment. Ne? Now, this is my argument. To say that, guys, we are not saying your Western ways are insufficient or inadequate or cannot work. We are saying in certain instances they don't work. They cannot work. What is wrong then with adopting our ways also into the same system, legal system, and be able these things to coexist and work together? Because most of my things I argue coexistence. That we can still use our knowledge, you use yours, where it's necessary, where is needed. That is not really what is the case. That's ways in which we can actually restore our indigenous ways into this system. They laughed at me. Ne? I went again. I'm busy with a paper now of how and these are things that are common, guys. We know they are happening. How muti is being used in legal proceedings.
Legal
Proceedings like court. We know. But the problem is the minute I don't believe in those things. You see, you close yourself from a knowledge that already reality that exists.
Yes.
And whether you like it or not, my brother, we can tell you that the Western science, for example, in the healthcare system, you can be told you have a cancer. Because that's how the indigenous system is really fooling or scamming or embarrassing the Western healthcare system.
I think with that, I need to say something to that. I was telling somebody something in regards to that sometimes it's because they don't know how to define it, what you have or what is going on with you.
Yeah.
That they create a linkage, sort of like or a professor finally.
Yeah.
And then we now classify it, because also the scary part about the medical field these days is that there's a lot of money to be made from our I don't know if I don't want to say arrogance or a lack of knowledge, but there's just a lot, because once they say you've got cancer, now there's chemo. Obviously, there's a lot of
money.
Yes,
That's a lot of money.
Is it something that we are going through at this stage, or is it something that is coming?
Actually, if you look at my post I posted this morning, talks to that.
Yes.
How we celebrate non-communicable diseases, how we campaigns and fund, programs that says that cancer awareness week, raising funds for lupus, for example.
Yes.
It means that you find a disease, and then because in the Western system it says it's incurable, then you raise funds to campaign to donate into that fund. I wrote a post this morning about that, particularly to say that non-communicable diseases. Look, I'm not saying the Western healthcare system does not. Guys, got me there. If I broke my hand, I know the quickest way to fix it is the Western healthcare system. Ne. It does work in certain illnesses, but non-communicable diseases, they are making a killing there. In the sense that once you get diabetic and now you have to be cut this hand, you're going to end up having nothing because they're going to keep on cutting.
Yes.
When actually the only thing that is needed is you change your diet. Go back to the traditional diet system that you have. Many people you have a gout. Gout is not really because of the meat, guys. They said it's meat. That's why most of you guys, you have gout, there are tablets that you take. You've got a headache, there's a Panadol that you must take. There's flu, you've got a flu combo that you need to take. Are you telling me, my brother, that every year you're going to suffer from the same disease? And you already know that you're going to go to the chemist to get a combo. Is that not a scam on its own? So it means it's ignorance on us as people to what is happening to us. If you look at people that they are diabetic, high blood, cholesterol, look at the foods that they eat. But no doctor, no hospital, no healthcare system will tell you, start eating healthy from right now. They will leave you eat your own things. Go to hospital right now. Check out their vending machines. What is in there? Chocolates, all of this processed sugar.
Yes.
So it means that the system is not really communicating, talking to each other, because to them, that's mad. Yeah. And I cannot blame them. But to you, you are killing yourself. And are doing so nicely. I see that when you birthday, they buy you a cake and then happy birthday, I love you very much. That's murder there. You are committing murder. You're killing people.
but killing you softly.
Killing you softly.
Oh.
Why wanna? Now you only wake up when? In your 60s now, when you say that you have high blood, you have sugar, then you have to manage. There is no one who has ever taken all those medications that they have ever been healed. Give me one. To say that I took high blood and then today I'm healed because of that. Those people got healed because they moved away from that medication and start to eat right. So what is wrong with us when we have to just eat right? So that's why I called the way I eat, I counter disease. I don't wait to be sick in order for me to do that. If they go and take you tests and say they don't know, you are still really hopeful that you go from one specialist to another, and it's very sad what we are seeing happening. But I cannot force you to eat. That's why when you follow me, you realize is that I share my daily life, my daily activities and all of that, because I've realized the power. Remember, I told you about what you see every day on TV becomes your own reality. So what you see me posting now and then, whether you believe it or not, that's why I say that this message will only reach those meant to reach at that time. Even if you ignore it, it will happen 5 to 10 years later, you are going to remember. Your memory is already recorded. When I move around, walk around, people without me saying anything to them says that, whenever I have to buy Coke, I remember both.
Yeah, that one is dangerous. Coke is a cause of many ailments in a human form.
Processed sugar.
Yes.
It comes in various ways.
And sometimes it's packaged very nicely. They say don't drink Coke, rather drink juice. And then you find out, there's also a lot of sugar in juice.
They are lying to you guys about it. That thing is 100% in a box.
No.
It's 100% when you've juiced it yourself and then you see. Because that one, okay, you use it in this bottle. By tomorrow, you won't open this bottle because it will be developed a gas. It's gonna. That's the only one that it will convince you to be. The ones that I always tell people that look at what you are buying. Buy with conscience, buy with knowledge. Look at the pack. If they start to have some preservatives and all of those things, look what you are actually that you are doing. I tell people that, coconut is an energy drink. Coconut, the real coconut.
Yeah.
Watermelon is an energy drink. But watermelon also is Viagra. Did you know?
Hey man, when is the season coming? We need those watermelons. It's a natural Viagra.
I'm telling you. A lot of things. For example, I can only eat fruits and then I'm full. They lied to you about, if 3 meals a day is the most, and breakfast is the most. Remember, break a fast. Yeah. What does it mean, break a fast? It meaning that you fasted the entire night. Now in the morning, you must break a fast. But the way that you eat, you are actually compromising your engine, which is your gut, to actually process, to harvest and to remove, to ensure that everything there. You eat now, heavy breakfast. What about to go to hotel? And that's why in hotels, I don't eat meat. Go to hotel. People have become uncontrollable eaters because there is a buffet and all of those things. That's where the problem is. Where the problem is? It's here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think I saw that with myself. The moment I start eating at night, it's going to be something that is continuous. Now I'm going to get used to non-stop. But I know the problem. But that thing, I did not train around this time we are not eating.